Yes, students, in the previous session we have gone through what do you mean by EJP, what are the applications of what you can say the EJB, fine, what is the significance of EJB, where it is necessary to use EJB for which kind of applications, fine. In that session we had also gone through a kind of what you can say the security is incorporated and the reliability, fine, and the robustness, fine, the strongness to maintain the database or something, fine, and after that we have gone through what you can say the distributed in nature, fine, the application which is accessible in a distributed nature, so it is very useful and what you can say it is preferred one you can in nowadays, fine. So in that case that is what the best example I have taken for all the cases which involved in case of your security aspect, your robustness aspect and your distributed aspect, so it is portable, fine. So such business applications can be developed using your EJB, fine. So in EJB we do have what you can say the another this thing is concept is nothing but the container, fine. So everything, so the instance pooling, the security, fine, the memory management, everything, so that is client and server what you can say the handling, so that can be easily handled by your EJB container by default. So the programmer don't have any task to perform in case of your what you can say the transaction management and in case of your security, in case of your object pooling, so that is what, so some of the things which will be automatically handled by your EJB container, so programmer no need to think much in that case, only the thing is request comes, so it handles and it gets the response in that format. So in that case it's very good at that perspective, fine. And you need an application server, yes, we have to have an application server such like what you can say the JBoss, Glassfish, WebLogic, this also we had discussed in the previous session, so they are example for your nothing but your EJB container, fine. And next we had gone through the different type of EJBs, fine. So in today's session also we will little bit go to the what you can say the brief about what you mean by all this, fine. And in the next session onwards we will start with the life cycle methods, how it works and all, fine, okay. So in this session been and in the morning session we had also gone through what you can say the RMI method, which was also used to tool which was also used to develop an applications which are distributed in nature. The thing is we do have some problem with your RMI, fine, so that is what EJB came into picture, okay. So in this slide you will come across the three main basic what you can say the types of your EJB, fine. So one is session bean, MDB, that is message driven bean, and entity bean, fine. So in session bean, so it also contains a business logic that can be invoked by local or from remote places or something, fine. The MDB, this also same as that of your session bean, it also consisting of your what you can say the business logic. The thing is the communication will happen in case of MDB through messages, fine, okay. Then next is your entity bean, so this is going to deal with your database what you are looking for, that is for your entity bean, fine, okay. So we were discussing about this particular slide, fine. So what is this the main difference between your RMI and your EJB? RMI, that is remote method invocation, so where we are communicating from client to server, fine. So client will be having what you can say the stub as an one component and your server will be having an one component called skeleton. So whichever request comes from the client, it has to go through the stub and it will communicate with your skeleton, fine, and whatever responses will come from the server, so it will go through the skeleton and it will communicate through the stub. So in between client and server we will be having a layer of your stub and skeleton which is going to handle all these things, fine. So that is what is the working what you can say the basic working procedure of your RMI, that is remote method invocation. So where the applications you are extracting or you are accessing that application in a distributed manner, fine. So here what is the main drawback of your RMI was it is on middleware services such as that is what? So the services, the transaction management, object pooling, etc. need to be done by the Java programmer, or the programmer needs to handle all these things. So he have to write the code manually for that. Fine. And in case of your EJB, so this is the middleware services what we just now discussed are automatically handled by your EJB container. So there is a less troublesome compared to your RMI software. And the next one is RMI is not a server side component, so it is not required to be deployed on the server. Fine. So RMI is not a server side component. Fine. So because of that, it no need to install on what you can say the server. But EJB is your server side component, so it has to be required or it needs to be deployed on a server. So whenever you wanted to access the EJB, it needs to be deployed in a server. Fine. So because it's a server side component program. Fine. Then RMI is built on top of the socket programming, and EJB is built on what you can say on top of the RMI. So that is what the layer they have mentioned. Fine. One socket program. Fine. And after that socket programming, you will be having RMI, and on top of RMI, you will be having your EJB. Because on the basic this thing, so the procedure will remain same. They have added some advancement in that. So how you are going to add an update to your application? So that is how. So in the example for that, so they have added some kind of updation in that, and they will be accessing this particular EJB. So the concept will be same with some of the advancement to RMI they have come up with, and they have developed this particular EJB container. Okay. So, and also we have gone through in the last class, so that is nothing but your different types of your EJB beans. So in case of your all types of beans categories, first we will be having then it will be your MDB, that is message driven. Then next one is entity bean. Then again in case of your session bean, so you will be having stateful, bean, and stateless session bean, and singleton session bean. Okay. And in case of your MDB, again it will get categorized into the different this thing. So one is topic and queue. Fine. Or you can say it as P2P, that is peer-to-peer and publisher subscriber model. Okay. So these are the main categories in case of your what you can say the EJB. So broadly it has classified into the segments, 3 more segments, that is session bean, MDB, that is message driven bean, and next one is entity bean. And again session bean is getting categorized into stateful session bean, stateless session bean, and singleton session bean. And in case of your MDB, again it is getting categorized into the different types, mode of the communication based on the message. Fine. So one is topic, queue, or P2P, that is peer-to-peer, or publish to subscriber model. So here whatever you have discussed in case of your this thing. So nowadays we are using many communication, what you can say the apps, the social media apps like your WhatsApp, where you are communicating through messages, or a simple messaging services where you can just type a message. There are different type of what you can say the modules or the different modes of the communication in message only. So they are based on this particular model, that is topic and queue, or P2P, that is publisher subscriber, or peer-to-peer model. Fine. So the main session bean, as we have already gone through, the session bean is one which includes the business logic for that application, right? The session bean, which is nothing but main business logic of that particular application, and we have gone through what you mean by the presentation logic and what you mean by the business logic. So business logic is the, what you can say, the business associated with that particular application can be considered as your business logic. So that is what we have taken example of a calculator, or you can say it as an example we have taken of your ATM machine. So when you just go and look at that particular ATM machine, so that will be your can be your presentation logic, okay? So when you enter your proper credentials, fine. Then you give some what you can say the instructions, fine, for the withdrawal money and something. So then you are going to get the money out of it. So that is what you can say the business associated with that particular logic. So that is what. So session bean is nothing but your what you can say the main business logic. So here the MDB is also in your business logic only, but in case of this MDB, it will be, the communication will be through the messages, fine. Okay, then comes the mainly stateful session bean, stateless session bean, and singleton session bean. So what is this for? So obviously we know, so this is nothing but what you can say the type of your session bean only, fine. A session bean encapsulates a business logic, fine. It can be invoked by local or some remote methods. It can be used for the calculations, database access, or whatever business associated with that. The lifecycle session bean is maintained by the application server, that is EJB container. So that is what we just discussed just now, fine. The complete life cycles which needs to allocate, the memory allocation, which instance to be allocated, what is the kind of request you are getting, so when to give service to that, fine, and all the things. So the life cycle of that particular, what you can say, the object, so how much time it will take to give response time, everything will be completely managed by your almost 60 to 70% it will be automatically managed, all these things. In case of your security also will be handled by your EJB container only, fine. Then the types of session bean, just now we discussed stateless, stateful, and singleton, fine. So what is this stateless session bean? It doesn't maintain a state or of a client between the multiple method calls, fine. So we will go through a small example, so how it works and all, fine. Okay, as the name itself indicates, the stateless session bean, it doesn't maintain any kind of a state of a client between the multiple method calls, fine. And the stateful session bean, it maintains the state, fine, and for the across the multiple request. And the singleton session bean, one, the instance per application, it is shared between the clients and supports the concurrent access. So we will go through a small example and what exactly this stateless, stateful, and singleton session bean indicates. Yes, you can observe very clearly in this diagram, fine. So whenever client sends a request, fine, from the one side, so it gets accessed by the proxy and it will be sent to that particular server. So as we know, the EJB is a server side component, so it needs to be installed on a server side. So that is what you are looking for. That is an EJB container which accepts the request which has been sent from the client. It processes that request and sends the response back to that particular client, fine. So here, just now we discussed the stateless session bean. You can observe here, as the name itself indicates, stateless session bean, it is a type of a session bean which is not going to maintain any particular state. Okay, so whenever we don't want to maintain a state, fine, so it is not going to what you can say store any footprints of a user or something. See, suppose for example, whenever, and in another case, another type you can say it as there is no dedicated, what you can say, the instance of a EJB container will give a response in case of your stateless session bean. So first of all, in case of your stateless session bean, it is not going to maintain any case, what you can say, the state of a user or a client. So whenever you request, okay, you just it responds to your request, and there is no any footprint of that particular what you can say, the client will be maintained in case of your this thing. Okay, so whenever there are n number of people accessing a different websites or something for the knowledge purpose, so they are not going to access the database, it is just for the knowledge purpose on static page, the many people they are accessing. So there is, what you can say, the least necessary to maintain what you can say, the footprint or the state of an user. Fine, I don't want to maintain a state over there, so you just go to that particular web page, accesses that, gets the information, and he leaves that. So that is what such kind of applications where the state need not to be maintained. In another case, a stateless session bean means there is a random instance. Suppose for example, we do have a container, EJB container. In that EJB container, you will be having a n number of, what you can say, the instances which is going to take the request which has come from the client and processes and give the results back to that particular response or request. Fine. So for each and every this thing, so there is an, what you can say, in the pool of, what you can say, the instances, one random instance will be picked and it is going to give the service to that particular client. So here you can observe in this picture, so this is what the box you are observing over here. This is my EJB container. Whenever request has come, so you can observe the different type of instances available to that particular request. As we know, this is, what you can say, the very robust in case of your memory management and all. So whenever a request and its purpose is served, then that memory will be allocated back to the EJB container for the next instance of request. In this case, you can observe in this container, we do have a different type of, what you can say, the objects or the instance of this EJB container, which will purpose, the purpose of this particular, what you can say, the instance is to serve the request. So I don't know which instance of this current, this thing is going to serve my request in this case of a stateless session bean. So that is what the random, what you can say, the instance in this EJB container will be selected, and that is going to serve my request. So there is no, what you can say, the footprint, and there is no, what you can say, the state is going to maintain in case of your stateless session bean. The two things we need to learn here. So that is stateless session bean. So one is, it is not going to maintain any state, any kind of state regarding the client, and a random instance from your EJB container is going to serve that particular request. I don't know. So whenever you send a request from the same this thing, instead of this particular instance, and another instance may give a response to you as a service. So that is what, so there is no dedicated, what you can say, the instance for your request. So that is what, so is your stateless session bean. Then comes stateful session bean. Yes, just now we gone through the stateless session bean. So this is what is for the stateful session bean. This stateful session bean is, what you can say, the kind of a session bean which is going to maintain a state of a user. Fine. So here you can observe, for a dedicated request there will be a dedicated object, or the instance of this container is going to serve that particular request. Okay, two things we need to concentrate. So it is going to maintain a state, obviously it is going to maintain a state, and a dedicated instance of a EJB container is going to serve that particular request. So that is what it is going to maintain. See, suppose for example, online shopping. Fine. So whenever you go for any online shopping, this thing applications or something, at the previous time when you visit, you were visited that particular website, you have added some items to your cart. Okay. Whenever you logs in once again, it recognizes that the same what you can say the user is accessing this website, and those what you can say the products will be available in your cart. Okay. So this is what it is going to maintain a state. Another best example for this stateful session bean is your bank application. Fine. See, suppose in my in my bank account, if I do have, suppose for example 50,000 rupees, fine. So I have withdrawn 5,000 out of that 50,000 rupees. What is the total balance need to be maintained? Fine, is 45,000, right? So 50,000 minus 5,000 will be your 45,000. So it is going to maintain the state. Okay, when you have drawn the amount, how much amount you have withdrawn, so on what date you have withdrawn, from where you have withdrawn. So each and every, what I can say, the footprint of a user is going to be maintain a state, and that needs to be required in that case. So that is what is nothing but your stateful session bean. So container is going to recognize, okay, this he has already visited and what are the transaction he has done in that particular account. So that is going to maintain in case of your stateful session bean. So that is the just general example what we are taking on case of your banking and account this thing. Fine. So that is nothing but a stateful session bean is nothing but a session bean which is going to maintain a state of a user, and although there is a dedicated instance of the container is going to serve that particular request. So here you can observe, so a request has come and ID is something 5 they have mentioned over. So here there are some, what you can say, the EJB container. So if the previous request has been served by this particular instance 5, then for the next time also this same instance is going to serve that particular request based on the client who has sent that request. So the stateful session bean is going to maintain a state, as well as what you can say, the dedicated instance of your EJB container will be serving that. Fine. So that is what your stateful session bean. So then it comes the singleton message sorry, singleton session bean. Okay. In case of your singleton session bean, you can look for this. There is only one dedicated object in case of your EJB container based on the request. See, whenever there are what you can say, the dedicated resources will be there, whenever there are very limited resources will be there, or whenever what you can say, the resources need to be shared, fine. So in that case it is better to go for the singleton session bean. So in this singleton session bean, there is only one dedicated, what you can say, the instance of the EJB container which will be shared with the different resources and the requests. Suppose for example, whenever you are taking a ticket online, for example, right? So it will be working on first come first serve basis. Who has logged in first, fine. Who has entered that details in that portal first, or based on the time or some constraints, who has visited that this thing. So based on that, first come first serve basis, right? So it will not, even though n number of people are accessing that, what you can say, the railway website, that is IRCTC website, but instead of that, so who has come first, based on the first come serve basis, it is going to allocate the ticket, and also that system will be working. Fine. See, suppose for example, you can think of, so if it is there are n number of instances which are available to allow you to what you can say, the book your ticket or something, there will be a clash. You can imagine the situation where n number of people are ticketing a book. Fine. So in that case, one instance will be this thing shareable with the different, what you can say, the aspects or the different resources. So suppose then 10 people are accessing the same resource, then people 1 or the first person will come and access that resource, and after the completion of first person, then it is a turn for the second person, then after the second person it is a turn for third person. So in that case, so one by one all the people are going to access that same resource. So that is what the instance is getting shared with the different this thing. So that is nothing but your, what you can say, the singleton session bean. So mainly we do have a session bean in the 3 criteria. So first one is stateless session. bean, stateful session bean, and singleton session bean. Stateless session bean, so there is no what you can say, not required to maintain any kind of a state, and there is no dedicated EJB container in case of stateless session bean. Any one of the random what you can say the instance from your EJB container will serve that particular purpose. In case of your stateful session bean, there will be a dedicated EJB instance, fine, and in that case we are going to maintain a state. And in the singleton session bean, so there is only one what you can say the instance of that particular EJB container, so which will be shared among the different resources. Okay, then comes MDB, fine. There are different type of what you can say the messaging services, fine. So in EJB and this thing also Java connector architecture, and we do have what you can say the Java messaging services, fine, JMS. Based on that we will be having a different what you can say the types of MDB, fine. So that is message driven bean. So first one is your topic and queue, topic or queue, and next one is P2P and publisher and subscriber. So based on how you are going to communicate, so that is going to analyze by that particular aspect. So in the next session we will go through how your MDB will be working. So what is your entity bean and what are the different life cycle methods of your different session bean, MDB and all. So we will discuss that particular part. Thank you.